Greetings, everyone. We're so excited today. Today is a special day. Why? Because this show is a show that's going to be speaking about confidence. I have a special author with me today who's going to be sharing some wonderful nuggets about a book that she wrote. None other than Melody Williams. And we're so excited to have Melody Williams with us today.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, we're excited because I happen to know that you have a lot to give. And so, as we're getting started today, we're going to dive right in at the deep end of the pool. Why? Because we know our audience wants to know more about who you are, what your message is, and all about your book. So, as we start, we're going to talk about Miss Melody Williams. I happen to know that she's a beautiful person inside and out, but our audience needs to hear more about who you are. So, as we get started, how about we start off by telling them just a little bit about who Melody Williams is? So, give us your perspective of this beautiful person who's
Well, I would say if there was one word that I would use to describe myself, would be an encourager. I find that the theme of my life and my relationships and even professional work relationships has been me playing the role of an encourager. And that's something that I found out, that I realized about myself even as a teenager. And I just kind of committed to it and continue to play that role. And I'm playing that role even now with this book, A Confident Me.
That's amazing. And I think that, everybody needs encouragement, even when they don't think they need encouragement, they need encouragement. I know I need encouragement. It just kind of uplifts us and helps us to want to push forward and go further, right? So now my next question for you, and I have a whole lot of questions. So let's get right in there. Who inspires you, and what is your biggest motivation?
Well, as far as being inspired, I'm inspired by just the young girls that I'm around that look up to me, or, just look to me for things. They inspire me to do better, to want to be better, to be a good example for them. So that definitely inspires me. As far as my motivation, I would say that my desire to really want to live a purpose-driven life desires me. I just find that when we're walking in our purpose, even the not so good things, are still really good, because we have that peace knowing that we're here doing what God created us to do. So it's all good. It's all going to work out.
Well, I love that. And as we are talking about that whole purpose and being driven to walk in our purpose, that's one of my key things as well. However, with the book that I wrote called Chasing Your Purpose, but that's not about me right now. It's about you. When you're talking about your purpose and your biggest motivators being the young people around you, I think that's amazing. So, in looking at your book and thinking about what made you write that book, what made you write it at this time? What made you write this book?
Well, I started a company a few years back called Melanin Harmony, and Melanin Harmony was created to promote self-love and love for others among young girls of color. And when I launched Melanin Harmony, I launched with Respect Her Melanin and Love Her Melanin, Love Your Melanin shirts. And just to try to combat colorism in the Black community. And from there, I really wanted to give young girls something that can continue to build their confidence, provide them with things to continue to build their confidence. So I had the idea for this book, and I just kind of started writing down key things that I feel like they face, walking into womanhood as they transition from little kids into young ladies, just some key things that they face. And I just really wanted to have that. There aren't too many books, life application for, middle school kids. it kind of goes from, the picture books to, fictional stories. So I wanted to give them something life application and something that they would enjoy reading, so that's really what made me want to write this book.
Well, I'm a fan, and there's a reason why I'm a fan, because I'm an educator and I see what our youth go through on a daily basis. And in looking at the principles that you share in your book, I think it's so key, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more. But before we talk about just the different nuggets and things that you share, I want to start at the beginning of the book, because the beginning of your book, you did something very, very unique. And it's something that I don't see happen often, which is you wrote your own foreword. And I when I read it, I was like, wow, that is just, it's so special. And it's very, it's not just unique, but it's like it was perfect for your book. In reading it, it was like, wow, this is perfect. So why did you do that? And what inspired you to write your own foreword of your book?
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. The book was already written, already sent over to be edited. And one night I was on social media, just kind of scrolling through, and I came across this post. I guess it was like a poem from a book or something like that. And they talked about Black women and the struggle of Black women. And it was just kind of sad. And I know the intent wasn't for it to be sad, but it just kind of was sad. So the foreword in the book is actually my response, what I commented, on that post. And I was just commenting, wasn't with the intent to create a foreword, but I started getting floods of comments of Black women just being so encouraged by what I said. And I even had someone comment saying, I can't wait to read your book. And I never even, mentioned a book or anything like that. I just made a comment. So after that, I felt like it needed to be included in the book. And I thought it would be a great way to introduce and welcome readers into A Confident Me.
Now that that was genius. That was absolutely genius. And our audience, you have to read that forward. It's just, it makes me feel like I should read a portion of it, so that they can just get an idea of what you're saying. And we're going to take a break in a minute, but before we take our break, I'm going to just take a moment and read a portion of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
I used to wonder how it felt to live in that kind of freedom where you didn't have to fight or constantly watch your back, or wonder if your rejection had to do with your actual shortcomings or the color of your skin and the stereotypes that come with it. But then I started to feel bad for them. In my struggle, my strength is displayed. My fight, my ability to break glass ceilings, my resilience all make me proud to be in this battle. Now, I didn't read the whole thing, but let me just say, she got a couple of more paragraphs that you want to read, because it is just so powerful and so amazing. And it's like, it was perfect. So when we come back, we're going to do more with Miss Melody Williams, and we're going to dig just a little bit deeper. So you don't want to go away. We'll be right back. And we're back and we're so excited. We are with none other than Miss Melody Williams, an amazing author, an amazing woman. And we're just diving into the beginning of the book and talking about the forward, which is amazing. But as we are jumping into more about her book, I want to ask you a question. At the beginning of your book, we talked about indeed the forward, but as you get started with your book, why did you start with self love?
Yeah, so I started the book. The first chapter is self-love. And the reason why I did that is just, if we don't love ourselves, we can't walk in our purpose. We can't have strong and healthy relationships. We can't encourage one another. We can't enjoy life, if we don't love ourselves first. And essentially, I can't love you if I don't love me. It's like building a house on sinking sand. You need a strong foundation to build on. And in this case, that foundation is self-love. So I wanted the readers to grasp that first before going to any part of the book. And as I state in the book, if we don't get self-love first, no other part of the book is going to matter. So if you got to read that chapter 3 and 4 times and exercise the questions that are at the end of the book, do that, because nothing else is going to matter if you don't love yourself first.
I love that, because it's like, it is the foundation. And what I'm finding is that even in reading your book is for middle schoolers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly for middle schoolers.
Yes, middle school and early teens. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, in reading your book, I thought to myself, there are some adults who could really benefit from the principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course I'm laughing a little bit because it's like I was just watching a show, and of course it was a show of women of color, men and women of color. But when you talked about the whole melanin and the whole purpose of your business, of their, I almost want you to share it the way you said it again, because I saw this in adults who were 34, in their 30s and 40s and almost 50s, who were dealing with that same issue of not really loving the melanin in everyone, as you
Mm-hmm.
stated before, regardless to what the complexion is.
Right.
And I saw it in adults, and I thought to myself, how sad, how sad.
Yeah.
My goodness, I thought even again, I was like, they should have read this book when they were in their teens, and then perhaps
It's not too late. It's not too
they
late.
might be having the issue on television live, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not too late. And I've even had adults who read it and said that it blessed them, that it really spoke to them. So I geared it, it's a simple read, so I geared it toward, girls walking into womanhood, but anyone can be encouraged by it.
Okay. So, like, we didn't say the title of the book. Would you like to share the title of your book?
Sure. So the title of my book is A Confident Me, A Black Girl's Guide to Finding Her Inner Confidence. And honestly, I chose that title just because the book is about confidence, and I wanted the readers to grasp that, right away, that this is a book about confidence. And just that, I just wanted them to, I just wanted to be very simple and clear about the book's intentions. It's about your confidence and finding your inner confidence.
Okay, so I do have to ask this question, because indeed it says a Black girl's guide. Why a Black girl's and not like all girls? Why a Black girl's guide?
Yeah. So I said a Black girl's guide because just by default, everything that's created is created or catered to the majority. So I wanted to create something specifically for young Black girls walking into womanhood. They should feel loved, they should feel valued, they should feel encouraged. And I wanted something specifically for them. Obviously, the principles there would benefit all girls. But what I wanted was for Black girls to feel special, to feel cared for, to feel loved, to feel seen. And that's why I geared it specifically, for Black girls.
Well, I mean, I think it's great. And I'm being a Black girl myself. I mean, it makes me feel even more special. But, I do like that you are sharing that it's definitely principles that everyone can learn from. And regardless to what color you are, you can learn from the principles that are within her book. It could be beneficial to any and everyone, even cross cultures and ages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
it's definitely there. We have a lot of interaction going on, and that's exciting in itself because we know our audience is listening, and that is absolutely what we want. So, in looking at our interaction, it kind of went away. We're hearing from our listeners. One person, Paulette, says self-love is so important. I love this book's intentions.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Loren says love is the foundation. Absolutely. Yes, love yourself first. True, very true. Then we have another person that says that I love that girls walking into womanhood. And as girls are walking into womanhood, how important that is. And then the next comment says, yes, principles benefit all girls. And as principles benefit all girls, yes, adult women have to work on their confidence every day. Oh, wow. That's good. Because yes, we do. Why don't you speak to that for a minute?
Yeah, and I just think that it's an intentional, it's an ongoing process. It's not that you've built your confidence and then you're good. It's definitely an ongoing process, being intentional, self-love, being kind to yourself, affirming yourself on a daily basis, and even taking a step back, if there are things that don't feel right, or are affecting your mood or your confidence, kind of taking a step back, to regroup and take the time, because your confidence is so important.
Indeed. I have another comment from interaction from Mikey, who says, should men read this book too? That's a really good question.
So I honestly, I think that with the principles that I talk about, with self-love, kindness, and conflict, value, I do think that men can benefit from the principles that are in this group. I didn't necessarily gear it toward men or young boys, just because I don't feel like I'm qualified to speak on, men walking into manhood. I think that's something, a man should speak to. However, the principles that are here definitely could benefit men as well.
Well, I guess, and the other thought is, men really could benefit from understanding us just a little bit better.
Yeah, and that too.
So my suggestion is anything that y'all can do to help you to know us just a little bit better. Please read.
Yes.
So I thank you for that question. We have some more interaction happening, but I think it is so powerful. We have affirming yourself. Yes, we do have to affirm ourselves. It helps us. The next person says, I have 4 daughters. Mikey says, I have 4 daughters. What age should they start reading this book?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this book is really, it's really a simple read. I've geared it toward middle school girls, just because they're starting to, their world is starting to change. However, if you have a I would say an advanced reader, even like fourth or fifth grade, would be good. For someone who has like younger girls, if they sit and like read with their children at night, I know my mom used to do that with us. This is something that you can read and actually talk and discuss with them to help them understand it better.
I love that. And we're about to take a break in just a few moments. But when we get back, one of our audience members asked the question, how did you come up with your nuggets? She says this book is absolutely needed for women. But how did you come up with those nuggets? And when we come back, we're coming back with Melody Williams, and she's going to share about those nuggets. And when we get back, so you don't want to leave. We'll be right back.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. So much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Crucian hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. The nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kinds of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all of we call this home. The VI is the new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
And we're back. We're back with Melody Williams, and we're talking about this wonderful book on confidence, A Confident Me. And before we left, some of our audience members were sending us questions and comments in. And the last one we talked about was, how did you come up with your nuggets in the book? And she also says that the book is absolutely needed for women of every age. I agree with that. So thank you so much, Ordine, for sharing that with us. And Paulette says, I think it's great for men to also understand this perspective. Without a doubt, Paulette. Before we jump into that next comment, do you want to speak to those nuggets? And then we'll come to Marthel's comment in just a moment.
Yeah, so when I started writing the book, I just started to kind of think about key things that that women face, that either I faced as a teenager, or just things that, we face on a daily. And I just kind of made a list of those things and just tried to attack them in a way that younger girls can understand. I also have what I call a focus group. I have friends that have girls that are around that age. So when I would write something, I would kind of send it out like, does this make sense? Can you guys grasp this? Just to try to ensure that they can hear what's being said.
That's awesome. That is awesome. The nuggets that she shares in there. I agree with Ordine that it's for every age, because truly we have some people who may have dealt with issues in their teen years and perhaps haven't quite gotten over maybe some of the hurt, some of the pain, some of the whatever it was that they were going through as teenagers. And you can take that all the way up into your 20s, 30s,
Absolutely.
40s, and 50s and still have to deal with that. Speak to that for us. How and how they could possibly get help with that.
Yeah, for sure. So so with that, with the dealing with those things, that are still there, from early on. I just think that it's important, to really talk about, what's bothering you, what's hurting you, reach out to like counselors or, therapists, just so that, you can be healed from those things. My biggest mission was to help create a generation of women that are confident. So attacking those things when they're young, so that they can walk into womanhood without these hurts, without having to deal with that. And also knowing how to handle conflict. As I talk about in the book, conflict is going to happen. You can't avoid conflict. You can be the best person in the world and you're still going to experience conflict. And it's fine, because conflict actually strengthens our relationships when we handle conflict appropriately. We understand each other better. We know how to love each other better, when we handle conflict appropriately. So that's why I wanted to attack those things early on, so that we don't, we can eliminate, that walking into womanhood with those hurts and pains.
Oh, that is so powerful. Let's take a look at some of our interaction again. Dr. Marthel Young says, internalizing love for yourself exudes a presence of positive energy and appreciation of others. Self-love also allows you to bring value to relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we have, this is a great opportunity to impact lives in a tremendous way, especially during the time we are living in. Absolutely. I shared that, I feel like so many times our everyone's going through, but my heart goes out to our young people, because a lot of times our young people just don't have what they need to get the help sometimes that they need. Dr. Sherman says the initial first step is to love yourself. Then you will be loved much more. Absolutely. So I love what you impart. Person says she loves what you're imparting. The next One says, "Hey ladies, you are both amazing authors. I love the Discovering Strength series authors and all the Darn Princess Book Club show guest authors." Thank you, Paulette.
Thank you. Thank you.
Confidence helps one to understand their self, a great way to provide hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely good. The focus group is genius, shows the sincerity in the message.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Wow, we have lots of comments. I'm really loving this. This is great. What are some of your influences as a writer? Oh, we're going to get into that just a moment. Uh, Mikey, we're going to get into that in just a moment. Lena says, "A confident me, such an important, especially for middle school girls. Where is it available?"
All right. Well, you can actually find A Confident Me on Amazon, on Target.com. It's actually on Target.com. So when you're filling up your Target cart with all your goods, you can go ahead and throw that in there. Same with Amazon. And then also on Barnes & Noble as well. It's available really at any online bookstore, but as far as what we go to often, Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, all available there.
Like therapy gets a bad rap, but you have to do whatever you can to heal you.
Absolutely.
So true.
Because sometimes you don't even understand what you're going through, and you need that therapist, or guidance counselor to kind of help you understand.
I absolutely love that. And I love our interaction. I love your mission to impact generations of women. Amazon and Target, someone says. Absolutely. Amazon and Target. So wanting to know where to get your books. So now let's take a little turn and dive a little bit more into who Miss Melody Williams is. You talked a little bit about your Melanin business.
Yeah.
I'd like to know just a little bit more about that. And you talked a little bit about sisterhood. You brought it up, and I want you to dig a little bit deeper into that and tell us what is sisterhood.
So for me, sisterhood is loyalty. Sisterhood is kindness, encouraging one another, compassion. We need each other. Women need each other. Black women need each other. We need to support each other. You always hear things that people talk about how the world can be a better place. In my opinion, I think if women stick together, we can really change the world. So sisterhood is just such a huge deal. Even with me writing this book, I had to depend on sisterhood. I sent my transcript out to my friends like, hey, what do you think? And they've been there to support me. Sisterhood is extremely important.
Well, I am absolutely in full agreement with you on that. The sisterhood is it can be amazing, especially if you are a person who loves yourself and you're expressing that love to the people that you are around, because everybody wants to be treated right,
Yeah, exactly. So, everybody wants to be loved. So
indeed. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about your business, because you have some special things that you're working on, and I would love for you to share with our audience about this app that you are going to be sharing with the world shortly, which I think is going to be amazing. So go ahead and tell us.
Okay. Well, the Melanin Harmony app, it's a safe space for young Black girls to vent, to encourage, to share, whatever is on their mind, whatever they're going through. There's a social feature on that app that allows them to do that. Not like a traditional social app where there's private inboxes and profiles and things like that. They don't even have to share their real name. They can create a username and just be free on that app. The app also includes a looks feature. And this feature just kind of gives a little bit of outfit inspiration. Most girls that are using this app are not little girls anymore. They're transitioning into womanhood. But a lot of the clothes that are marketed mostly are a little bit too mature for them. So this looks feature just kind of gives outfit ideas so that they can be mature, but also still be age appropriate.
So
yeah.
much.
So those are the two main features.
Take a quick break, Melody, and we're going to come back, and you're going to give us some more on that app. But we got to go to a commercial really quick. Don't leave us. We'll be right back.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, clear vibes in this a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're the on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table, where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style.
I'm setting an example for my kids.
I got me a side hustle.
I have more control of my destiny.
I need multiple streams of income.
It's hard work, but I'm working for me.
A job is cool, but I need more.
It's all about being self-employed. You're tuned into the world of Self-Employed and Rising with Art Taylor, where we bring you the amazing stories of people who are challenging the odds and following their dreams of self-employment. Learn from their successes and be inspired. Hear creative ideas for your business and find tips to take your hustle to another level.
And welcome to Behind the Inspiration Podcast, the show that encourages and motivates with our 5-minute interviews of inspiration. My name is Ken Waller, and I am your host. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast is a part of my moving forward by helping others identify what true inspiration is. Behind the Inspiration Podcast was developed to provide a platform for sharing awesome, uplifting stories by individuals inspired by events or situational experiences in their lives. You know, inspiration motivates you to be better and to do better. Different things inspire different people. There is so much inspiration in this world. It's important that we start to highlight the things that inspire us versus the things that are destroying us. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast can be heard right here on Anchor Podcast or on the podcast platform of your choice. Thank you in advance for tuning in.
And we're back and we're so excited. I want you to tell us about your app. We left with your sharing about the app that you created, and we know it's going to be amazing. And if you can share, finish sharing that, and then we're going to jump into some of our interaction because we have some questions and comments from our audience.
Yeah. So basically, I created this app. Because after I wrote the book, I started to just get a lot of feedback from parents and family members of people who bought the book for their girls, just saying that they really saw a difference in them, in their confidence, in their self-esteem, and their attitude. I had one girl tell me that she got it for her goddaughter and she read it twice in 1 week. And then I received a screenshot of a text message from a young girl that said it really helped with her anxiety and self-esteem. So I'm like, well, I don't want to leave them hanging. I need to give them something else. And with technology being so prevalent in their lives and, they're always on the phone, they're always on social media, I figured I'd meet them where they are, by providing this app for them. And even with them being on social media, it's such a dangerous place for them at that crucial age, for their self-esteem. So I just kind of wanted to come in and just provide them with something that they can use on a daily basis to build their self-esteem.
I love that so much because our young people need that in so many ways and in so many areas. So I'm excited about the app. I know that we probably have parents who are in the audience who want to know about the safety behind it. So can you talk a little bit about the safety? What do you have in place to make sure that they're safe?
Yeah, so there's no private profiles. There's no DMs, no inboxes, things like that. They log in. They do create a login. They can use a username. They don't have to use their real information. And then it's a positive place. So there's no bullying. There's no explicit content. Anything like that will be deleted immediately. So it's just a safe, positive place for them to express themselves, and it doesn't leave room for private messages to go out. They want to connect with each other outside of the app, then they can share, their social media, but it's not done on the Melanin Harmony app.
Yes, so it's safe and it's positive for our young people, which is what they need. So I just want to take the time and say thank you for thinking about our young people, because a lot of times people are in their own world and they don't think about these kids. And, as an educator, I see them on a daily basis and I see the hurt and the pain that they go through and they need it so badly. So I personally want to say thank you for doing that. We're going to take a little turn and we're going to take a look at some of our interaction. And then I have a few more questions. And of course, we have to do our fun segment at the end.
Yes.
So Loren is saying, indeed, we need each other. Sisterhood is a great way to offer courage in the lives of people daily. Yes. Absolutely. Elena says, I definitely think it could be a series. Oh, no. I think Elena asked the question, will your book, this marvelous book, which I'm so that our audience members can see it, A Confident Me, will it be a series is what Elena asked. And then Paulette said she thinks it could really be a great series. So have you thought about that?
Yes, actually, I have. I'm actually working with someone now to kind of break down just other things to help them into adulthood. And the next thing that we're working on is financial freedom, financial confidence, being able to manage money wisely. I have a friend that's a financial advisor. She's amazing, with money, with finances, and giving advice. So I'm working with her to create something that they can understand so that they can kind of learn how to be financially wise walking into adulthood and not learning after, like many of the rest of us, after becoming adults, but they can walk in with the confidence of, managing their finances properly.
Okay, that is fantastic. because that is so needed. Leela Johnson says, "Great book. How would you encourage young girls regarding competition and jealousy that can cripple their confidence?" I think it would be great for you to speak to that, because I think not only do our young people need it, but some of our wonderful adults, we need it too. So go ahead and speak to that for us real quick.
Yeah. So with that, and that's another reason why I started off with self-love. Because when you love yourself first, when you're confident in who you are, people don't have that much of an opportunity to shake you. But we still have things where people are going to be jealous, or you'll have haters. And one thing that I talk about in the book is projection, and understanding that a lot of times when people are rude and nasty to us, it has nothing to do with us and everything to do with them. It's based on what they're going through, the things that they're facing, and it kind of helps you not to take things so personal.
Yes, that is great. Loren Ferguson says, "Melody, your confidence today is making a difference. The world is a better place because of you and what is shared through your book." And so, I'm holding the book up yet again so that our audience members can see not only the beautiful picture. I didn't really talk about that because the artwork is amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to give my personal opinion of it because I don't want to do that, but I will say absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And we have additional comments, but before we do that, because we're coming to a close, and we want to make sure we get all of the comments in. While I am looking at this, I want you to share with our audience members a little bit more about who you are as a beautiful young woman inside and out. Tell us what book, what's your favorite book, one, and who is your favorite author and why?
Okay, great. Before I do that, can I answer the question that Elena put up?
Oh, that would be amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it was. She asked who helped you with your confidence.
That's good.
And this is actually one of the reasons why when I launched Melanin Harmony, I started with the Love Your Melanin and Respect Her Melanin, because I feel like my mom really, really was intentional with us in building us. When it came to colorism, I never really felt anything about my skin color. I didn't feel like because I wasn't white like my mom or my sister, that I was less beautiful. I think my mom was really intentional with that. So she definitely helped build my confidence. So when I got into the world, I was already sure about who I was. So the things that were said, even in school, it didn't really shake me.
That is great. I want to thank Elena for that question. But we have another question here that says, have you thought about expanding this to young adults?
Yeah, absolutely. I, like we stated before, it's a good read for all ages. Anybody can be encouraged by the nuggets that are in this book. I focused on this middle school age because that age group is so overlooked. It's overlooked. We know that they kind of go through different things. They might have attitudes and things like that. And a lot of times they're not taking the time to be understood, so I just wanted to focus in on that overlooked group. They're not little kids, but they're not adults either. They're figuring themselves out.
Awesome. We have more interaction. And Loren says, I pray God will make your way prosperous and give you good success as you intentionally move to impact generations of women. And I think that, that is a very powerful word. We thank you, Ms. Loren Ferguson, for giving us that. But Melody, I do want you to share with our audience what your favorite book is and who your favorite author is. And the reason I want that is not only do we get to get insight as to who you are, but they'll also get an opportunity to see partially the level in which how you think a little bit, and just begin to appreciate even that much more of who you are.
Yes. So my favorite author is actually Langston Hughes. I read my first Langston Hughes book when I was about in 6th grade, and I just loved, loved everything. I love the emphasis on the Harlem Renaissance. I love that time. He's an amazing writer. So he's my favorite author. And actually, my favorite book is one of his well-known books. It's called The Ways of White Folks. I actually read that in 6th grade. I don't recommend it for 6th graders, but that book just really impacted me because I was going through a time where I was really experiencing racism, and being in that like crossover age, I was kind of seeing things differently than when I was a little kid, and that book just helped me through that time. It's a compilation of short stories, and I love a good compilation of short stories. So it's really good. It really helped me through that time. So it's definitely my favorite book.
Awesome. Well, I mean, how can you get much better than Langston Hughes? We'll just leave that one alone. However, as we're getting ready to close, we are doing a giveaway. And so those of you who are interacting with us, we are going to ask you 2 questions. And Melody's going to do a giveaway of the wonderful book. And we're also going to do a giveaway of one of her Melanin shirts, which you can only get through Melody and her website. So that being said, the very first question we're going to ask, and the person in interaction who answers the question first is the person who's going to win. So audience, I hope you're with us. I hope you didn't leave, and I hope you're paying attention, because we're going to ask a question that has already been answered by Miss Melody Williams. The first question is, what foundation is your confidence built on? I'm waiting for the interaction to come in now. Come on, audience members. The question is, what foundation is your confidence built on? And I'm going to give you a hint. The hint is, it is partially how she starts the book. And I asked her a question, and the question that I asked her was, why did she start the book with this? Someone said having an intentional mother as a role model. No, that's a really good answer, but that's not the correct one.
Yes, she got it.
Natasha Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, we have our first winner. Indeed, it is Miss Natasha Robinson. Yay! Natasha, please tell us where you are from, and what we're going to need you to do is to DM us, and we're going to send you your own copy of A Confident Me from Miss Melody Williams. So thank you for participating. We have one more real quick. What is sisterhood? She gave you that answer. What is sisterhood? Come on. The first person who answers it correctly will win that t-shirt. What? What is sisterhood? What sisterhood is not God? No, sisterhood is not. Let's see. I love that, Natasha. Natasha says she's going to bless you with it, because
thank you
so much, Natasha. Let's see. Loving each other. That's a really good one too, but not the correct answer. We're still looking for the correct answer. Come on. I know you guys know. Let's see. Loren says, awesome moms. Natasha Robinson, congrats. Nope, that's not the answer, Loren. Sir, come on. Awesome moms. Nope.
I think the loving each other was a really good one, because everything that I listed, is love, is loyalty, kindness, encouragement. It is still showing love to one another.
Okay, so we'll take that as an answer. Who gave us that answer? Do you remember?
That was Belinda Braden.
All right, Miss Belinda. What we're going to ask that you do, Miss Belinda, is that you DM us in our social media and let us know how we can send you your prize. We want to thank everyone for joining us, thanking our audience for giving such wonderful interaction. And I have to say, thank you to the beautiful Miss Melody Williams.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, without question. And so Melody Williams is not only an amazing author, but she's an amazing person. And this book is A Confident Me. And you know how you can reach her. Is there anything you want to say really quickly before?
Yes, you can follow me on, you can follow Melanin Harmony on Instagram. That's at Melanin Harmony. And check out melaninharmony.com. You know, if you have questions or something you want to share, hello@melaninharmony.com is the email.
Well, thank you again to the beautiful Miss Melody Williams. And I thank our audience for joining us. And just know that next month, you don't want to miss the show. We're starting off Black History Month with indeed Melody Williams, A Confident Me. But it's going to be amazing next month. You don't want to miss not one show. So make sure you tune in to our TV network. Again, I'm Dawn Francis. This is the Dawn Francis Book Show, our TV network. And thank you so much for joining us. We are about to close.